Awesome. Well, we will go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm so glad to see all of you and to all the science teachers out there. Saw quite a few of them jump into our session today. So they're all here to help support today as well. My name is Jessica Greer. I had quite a few. I saw some of my students come in that I've had in the past too. I am the 3rd through 5th grade science teacher this year. But I've taught at GCA since 2009. So I've been here for a long time. I guess this is my 12th year. So I've got a lot of students that come through here as well. So glad to see all of you. With me tonight is also Whitney Moody, and she is going to be helping answer lots of questions in the chat window for us. She's here for us to support us in any way as well, and she is our 3rd through 5th grade social studies lead teacher. So I'm glad to have her with us, as well as we have lots of our administrators in the room as well for our question and answer time for the end of our session today. Well, today you've heard a lot of information already about the new Tutor Me program and about our milestones testing, and now we get to talk about science. If you came back in, I think it was September, I led the math session. I love math and science. They're two of my absolute favorite subjects. And so today I get to talk to you a little bit about science and some strategies and resources that you can use with your child to make them more excited about science and for them to grow in science over the school year. So first of all, and if you can, I'm big about attitude. We have to have a positive attitude if we're going to get anywhere in life, right? And so I brought up this same type of slide when we talked about math, because a lot of people say, I don't math, I'm not good at math. And people say the same thing about science. I don't like science. It's not my favorite. It's hard. And even though it may not be our favorite, we always have to have a positive attitude. And if you came to the math session, I talked a little bit about how I am not the best writer. I'm not a great writing teacher. However, when I taught 2nd grade, I was the 2nd grade language arts and social studies teacher. I was like, oh man, I've got to teach these babies how to write, and I don't like writing, and I've got to get excited about writing. Never let students know I like writing. I'm not good at writing. I never let them know that. Every day was something exciting about writing that I was going to share and bring to them to the table. So guess what happened the next year? I moved up to 3rd grade and taught language arts again. And then, as everybody knows, that's your first year that you're doing milestones testing. So, see, I've got some of my students in here. I see Elizabeth and her mom are in here. So see, it's those little secrets that we have to keep sometimes, that we don't like things and make them into a positive spin. So one of my absolute favorite sayings is, it's okay to not know, but it's not okay to not try. So even if we don't like science and we can't be negative about science, we have to keep that positive attitude. So I want you to take a look at the picture on the screen. It's a dad, and he's watching and observing his son, who is putting together this building. And of course, we don't know exactly what they're building. But as parents, I know I'm doing this all the time. I just want to get in there and do it for them. And I will be the first one to admit, my 5th grader just like 2 weeks ago had her science fair project. And she was dragging her feet and dragging her feet and dragging her feet. And all I wanted to do as the parent was to go in and just do it for her and have it and be done with it, right? Well, we can't do that as parents. We have to sit back and we need to watch our children and let them explore and let them get excited and about science. Let them ask questions. And guys, it is okay to say that you don't know. I'm having to do that with my 7th grader now. She's in 7th grade this year. My oldest is in 7th grade. And she comes home all the time right now and she says, what's blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I have no clue. But what I love about that is when I don't know, we get to look it up and together answers together. And then I get to learn more. He gets to learn more and we get to learn together. So it's a lot of fun. So as parents, we may not know everything there is about science, but what's great about GCA is that you have the support of your teachers, your academic teachers, your science teachers. They're there to support you as well. Guess what else? Science is fun. And I brought a couple of things. My kids, my poor kids, my personal children, with having a teacher as a mom, they get a lot of educational things. So I brought a couple of things today to share with you guys. And I'm seeing some of my favorite students in the chat with it. They're making my heart happy today. But I brought a couple of my kids' things down because I wanted to share with you about how you can make science fun. My son got this just a couple of months ago for his birthday. And I know you can't see very well, but it's one of the Fat Brain toys. And I don't know if you guys have seen any of these, but they're incredible if you haven't looked into it. And because I have a 7-year-old boy, I have to make science a lot of fun sometimes. So this one's called Nasty, Gnarly, Gross Out Science. Gross out the family with unreal science. So one of the questions here, and if you have boys, you know that they'll dig right into this. What makes, well, if you don't know, I challenge you to look into it. But here's a couple of the things that you can do. You make silly putty, creeping sludge, joke soap, weird gases, and more. So this is just a fun pack that we picked up for him to do some science. And it's a toy. It stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So it's a STEM toy. So I love this. I love science experiments. And they're a lot of fun for the kids. If you Google science experiments, there are tons on there. This is another just thing I want to share with you. This is from Usborne. If you've heard of Usborne, this is one of the Usborne books that I got when we had one of those what do you call them? Not book fair, I guess book fairs. I love these two. I'm glad you got these. This one's called 50 Science to Make and Do. And they're really easy. And most of these things are things that you have already at home. And I love when you can do science experiments at home with things that are there at your house. One of my absolute favorite activities doing in the brick and mortar classroom with my science class was always during Dr. Seuss Week, which is coming up. It's the first week in March. March 2nd, I believe it is. Read Across America Day is reading Bartholomew and the Oobleck, and then making oobleck, which is basically, the cornstarch mixture, which is, it's like it, and you can do it with when talking about matter too. Is it a solid liquid? It's a lot of fun. So anyway, just fun things to do. Also, science is everywhere. Science is everywhere. But let's think about how it could be applicable tonight or over the weekend. How many of you give me a thumbs up if it snowed at your house this past weekend? Saturday night into Sunday morning early? Anybody get snow? I know if you live up in the North Georgia area, north of Gainesville, I know South Georgia, poor South Georgia, Augusta and Gus. So I'm right there with you, Leah. I got ice as well. I didn't get any snow. I got ice as well. I got some sleet. And then of course, Sunday morning when I woke up, it was all gone. But awesome. Beaufort got snow. Awesome. Very good. So you could talk about weather. I know 4th grade, very soon, if you haven't already, starting to get, actually this is because IA week, I should know that. You'll be getting into weather soon. So it's a lot of fun talking about the weather. What makes the weather? Why do we have the different types of clouds that we have? What it snowed in Florida too? Wow. Never does that, right? So you can talk about the weather, which is very much a science topic. And you can talk about the weather at the beginning of the day. Take a thermometer out there. And I love, of course, I love math too. And I love how math and science, they go hand in hand, right? And so take your thermometer outside, measure the temperature. What is it later on at lunchtime? What is it in the evening? And so, that's an easy way to do science. Talking about volcanoes as well, but tornadoes. I'm looking at the picture and calling them a volcano. Talking about tornadoes. What makes tornadoes? Whether do you need to have tornado form? You can also do the science experiment where you make a tornado in the 2-liter gallon containers. So awesome. Talking about clouds all the time. My kids love looking at the clouds as well. And you can talk about the different types of clouds and why do we have clouds? What makes clouds? So those are all great conversations to have. Force and do we have any Boy Scouts in here? I know Pinewood Derby happened not too long ago. If it's not just happening, right around this time, Pinewood Derby is a great way to talk about your Pinewood Derby car. That's when the Boy Scouts, they make the cars out of the block of wood and they make it go fast and do races. So what makes your car go faster? What would make it go slower? Of course, one of my other all-time favorites are the planets. I absolutely love talking about the planets. And when I taught in brick and mortar, we would have the whole solar system up in my classroom. It was so much fun. And you can do all of these things with kids at home and make it fun. So just great ideas to make science. It doesn't have to be just something that you're learning in class, but it can be everything that is right around you. And of course, we know that leads me into science is everywhere. Science is everywhere. Look at this little cartoon here. It says, the mom says, why is everything on the floor? And of course he goes, gravity, mom, gravity. And so, just little things like that, talking about gravity. It says, Dad, my robot moves. Is it a living thing? Does your toy robot show any characteristics of a living thing? Think about it. The simplest of things can be turned into a science experiment and talking about science with your kids. So encourage exploration. So first of all, encourage your students to look around them. What did they notice? Did you notice the sunrise this morning? If you're an early riser, did you notice the sunset? The plants on the front porch. This is one of my things that happens in my house. My kids say that, Mom, you do not have a green thumb at all. And no, I do not. I cannot keep plants alive. Well, why did the plant die? Well, it didn't get enough sunlight. Mom forgot to water it for a week. So what was happening? The now has turned brown. Why does it turn brown? This is a great one for breakfast in the morning. Cereal. Why does cereal get soggy when you put milk on it? I have to be honest, I don't eat my cereal with milk because it does, and I would rather have it crunchy. So why do you do that? Scavenger hunts. Oh, Colleen, that is a great one. I always loved going on nature walks with my students. What do you notice around you? What do you see? What kind of animals do you see? What kind of plants do you see? That's a great idea. Number 2, describe. Encourage your students to describe what they see. This really goes well with your ELA, classes and your students. Have them explain what they saw. What did they see when they saw that sunset? Was it colorful? What color was it? Encourage them to write about what they're seeing. So yesterday, the sunset was beautiful. They had pinks and purples, and absolutely was beautiful. I don't know if you saw it, but it was absolutely gorgeous with pinks and purples, and it was coming through the trees. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then tomorrow night, do you think we'll see a sunset? Well, it's supposed to rain here. Don't know what the weather is doing at your house tomorrow, but the weather is supposed to rain here tomorrow. So, do you think that you'll see a sunset? I don't know. Maybe not. Not if the clouds are if it's too cloudy or if it's rainy outside, they may not see that. So encourage your students to notice things and to describe what they're seeing because it really helps with your language arts to vocalize what you're seeing and to write it down. What? Ask questions. What do you see? Why is it happening? What is happening? What made the sunset appear beautiful today and what made it hard to see the next day? And sometimes the why is difficult. And sometimes, even as parents, as adults, we have to look up the why. And why, like I said before, it's okay to not know the answers and to tell your students. I had to tell my students all the time, I don't know. Let's look it up together and you learn together. We're not supposed to know everything. I know, I mean, that's our little secret too. As parents, as teachers, yes, we know absolutely everything, but we really don't. And it's okay. we can look it up and we can learn together. And the last thing is to reflect. Go through your ideas of what happened. And it may be correct. It may be that everything you talked about was correct, and or it could be incorrect. And that's a great way to find out any misconceptions. And I know that's what our teachers look for in class all the time. If you got that answer wrong, why did you get it wrong? And I know our science teachers are really working hard on the why and the understanding, not just getting the answer. And if you've had me as a teacher before, I don't want you just to tell me the answer. I want you to tell me the why behind it. So if you're solving a math problem, I want you to tell me why or how you got your answer. If you're talking about science, I don't want just the answer. I want you to tell me the why behind it. So that's a good reflection piece. All right, going into the next slide. Science is messy. Woo, this is another hard one for me because I have to admit I don't like a mess. And sometimes as parents, as teachers, it is hard for us to make a mess. It is one of the hardest things to me, but totally get it. And sometimes we have to make a mess in science. And that's okay. There's a couple of things, of course, that you can do to keep it a little bit cleaner. But one of those things, go outside and like Colleen was saying earlier, going on a nature walk, keeping your everything outside. You can see the top picture up there are these little boys playing in the mud, and it's okay for them to get messy and to look for bugs and to find things that are in the soil. Maybe they're talking about soil, maybe they're talking about rocks. I know in third grade we lot about rocks. Oh, Ashley, great idea. Dollar Tree tablecloths. Oh, so much easier to keep the mess in the mess container all together. But when you are allowing exploration and you're expanding horizons for your students, sometimes you're going to make a mess. But that it really welcomes the exploration and it welcomes the curiosity and the activity for our students. So it is okay to get messy sometimes. Oh, look at the spattered paint that's up there in that picture. How many of you that gives you anxiety right now? It gives me high anxiety. All I can think is, oh my gosh, that's such a big mess. I don't want to have to clean it up. But what a great science experiment that is. You can ask your students so many questions. Tell me, what do you notice? What do you notice about those colors? What do you notice about the paint? Write a couple of things in the chat. What do you notice? A mess. Oh, painting garage doors. I hope it looks better than the splatter here. It looks colorful. That's right. Super anxiety. But look at the colors. Oh, the burst of the colors, the burst of light, maybe the shapes that it makes. Abstract art. You could talk about mixing colors together. What a great science experiment, right? Mix together. What would you get? Why do you get those colors?
everybody. This is Miss Moody, and it looks like Jessica lost connection. So I am going to continue on. So these are some of the science platforms that the science department uses. So all of these different programs are great resources for students. We have IXL, which is a program that offers students the ability to focus on specific skills. So when they answer a question wrong, they are provided automatic feedback to help them learn the correct information. Oh, it looks like Jessica may be back.
All right, I apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hey, Jessica, I just started going over with them and finished talking about IXL.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Whitney. Sorry about that. I gotta love technology, right? Just got bumped out of Jigsaw. So these are some of the science platforms that we are using this year, and I'm sure that you use a lot of these already. We have a lot of great programs that we use for science, and we a lot of them. But IXL is great. My own students use IXL. It's great to go in and pinpoint certain weak your student has. I know our teachers use IXL a lot to reinforce a lot of the different topics that you're going on over in class. Yes, Brain Pop and Brain Pop Junior are two of my absolute favorites because Tim and Moby, of course, go over the different science topics, and it's a lot of fun. And they introduce them in a great way. Study Jams, it's another great one especially to grab students' attention. Legends of Learning is the LL button. I'm not sure why its little name didn't appear down there at the bottom, but Legends of Learning is the LL one that is down on the bottom middle. Our science teachers use that a lot as well. It's a lot of fun. Flocabulary. I know some people said in the main room earlier that they didn't like vocabulary, but Flocabulary, I like it because it kind of gets me jazzed up. It just depends on your forte of programs, but I like Flocabulary. It's great for vocabulary. We use the Learning A to Z, the Science A to Z a lot in classes. Moby Max, we use a lot in 3rd and 4th grade. Education Galaxy, we've been using Education Galaxy a lot, especially in small groups. We've been taking the diagnostic test and really looking at what are the students' strengths and weaknesses, and looking at our grade level standards. Also, of course, you can play a lot of the games on there. Study Island, we just got Study Island about ago, and we'll be doing some blue ribbon competitions coming up. Be on the lookout for those. Our goal is to have all of the Study Island completed by March. That way we are prepared for milestones testing if you're in 5th grade science, or also with MAP to show MAP growth. And then also with working on our IAs and working on our grade level standards. So that's a great one. And we of course use Discovery Education a lot. Sometimes you go through Clever, in which you can go through. Also, you can go through Canvas to go into Discovery Education. We also use some of the other programs like Epic and Sora to use a lot of the books that are on there. Of course, our teachers do a lot of read alouds of books that go along with our standards as well. But we use a lot of science. Yes, we've gotten really good at pinpointing a lot of programs that we love to use for science. All right. I also have to say this year we've gotten a whole lot better with our Canvas calendar and modules. This year, or this semester, I should say, you have every science class has a welcome to science with your course information and resources at the top of the page, at the top when you log into your modules. And that goes over, it's got all of our study guides, it's got our year at the glance, it's got any kind of important information about science. It also it will have this week, if it doesn't already, information of your Me program that they were discussing today. There's going to be information in there if it's not already in there. And then also in science, we all have a week at a glance where it gives you the different things that you're doing every day, your slides, your assignments, and then you'll notice if it's a daily work, it says daily before it, and then graded, and then the category that it goes in. So we've gotten very organized with our modules. If you have any questions about your science assignments, please reach out to your individual science teachers. And then stay informed. It's always very important for you to know what's being asked of your child. And one of the things I love to know as a parent and as an educator is, what is the standard of my child's grade level? What is it that my child is learning this year? So all of our straight from the Georgia Department of Education. We use the Georgia Performance Standards. And I just put that link in the chat window for you. But it's always great to go on and pull up your science standards and look and see and say, what is it that my child's learning this year? In third grade, a big portion of it is rocks and minerals and soil and fossils. In fourth grade, they learn about so many different things, forces of simple machines. It's there, but it really pinpoints, that document really pinpoints exactly what your child learns in every single grade level. So you can kind of use it as these are what my child's going to learn. Have they learned it? What should they know? And then you as a parent can use iExcel or Study Island to go in to reinforce what your children are learning this year. You don't have to wait for the teacher to assign it. You can always go in and use those platforms at any time. I also want to let you know that you are always invited to come to class with your student. In fact, we love to see parents with their, especially in, I know in third through fifth grade, we have been incorporating a lot of experiments this year. And we've been trying to send out the list of materials that you might need before class begins. We try to do that you can do with items that you have at home. And your teachers are trying to do a lot of those experiments on camera. Instead of you having to watch a video, you're watching them do the live experience. I know I went into a science class just last week and watched Miss Davis in fourth grade do a fun experiment. So I love coming in to watch my teachers teach science. And then also we want to invite you and make sure that you know that you're always invited to come to class with us and learn right along with us. Because it's always great to know what the teacher is teaching so that you can teach the same type of way with the same type of strategies. All right, we have come to the end of our session for today. So I will turn it over for any questions that you might have. If you don't have any questions, you are absolutely free to log off. And we want to say thank you so much for coming today to our session. But I will pause to see if anybody has any questions about science that we can answer for you.
Hey, Jessica, you did a great job. Good evening, everyone. This is Maria Waters, your elementary principal, and I want to welcome you all here tonight. And I see the question from Michelle about Moby Max and how can I get my student to be positive and motivated if they're having difficulty with this specific lesson. So I would definitely reach out to your teacher that is assigning that particular lesson to see what skill that your child is struggling with, because we don't want to cause any anxiety or bring your child to tears doing any kind of lesson. So please reach out to your teacher so that we can they can assign maybe a different lesson to work on a skill that we can remediate and then go from there. So reach out to your teacher. That would be my first advice, to see what's going on there, because perhaps it's getting that maybe it's a little too difficult or something like that. So I would do that first and then go from there. And let's see, any other questions? Because we definitely don't want our students being brought to tears. And I see that some students may not like MobyMax, but I do have, I have heard a lot of positive feedback about MobyMax. It's not always negative. So I do hear some positive things. Let me move my camera over here. So I'm looking straight ahead. So what is another question we may have? And I will release the mic and you can grab the microphone to ask. Oh, I released the camera. Hold on.
Hi, I think it's Colleen's dad. You had a question. You had your hand raised. I gave you access to your microphone if you want to go ahead.
Here you go.
There you go.
No, say Zoe's dad.
This is Zoe's dad. I'm sorry. I should be more clear. I did have a question. I have my question. Right now.
Science, we're in science.
Okay, yeah, with science. I've noticed that she's been having issues like with the clouds and stuff like that. And I was just wondering if there are ways that we can kind of help facilitate.
I took a test already.
I know they took a test on it already, but it's like,
yeah, we can ask Miss Jingley.
okay.
You want to make it fun for her.
Yeah, I want to make it fun for her. Thank you. Thank you.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. So how can we make it more fun for her?
With clouds, is that what you're saying?
I was going to say one of my absolute favorite things, and I remember to this day being observed during this lesson in teaching a fourth grade lesson. I'm assuming you're fourth grade because that sounds about right. One of my absolute favorite lessons to do was hands-on activities with the clouds. Is we had pieces of blue and black construction paper and cotton balls. And we would make the different types of clouds and we would talk about, I had them write out little things on the paper so that they could kind of label them. It was just a lot of fun. So they took the cotton balls and they made the cirrus clouds, the little horsetails, or they made the cumulus clouds. And then we talked about afterwards, why each of those clouds or what type of weather that it would predict. So just a couple of ideas. You can also Google clouds. And fourth grade clouds lessons. And yeah, okay. So Miss England, yeah. So I figured that they did something like that. So you see, even stuff like that, there's lots of great videos online that you can always find. But your child's teacher is always one of the best places to go. So if you have, if you have something that you say, oh, I need my child to be excited about this, they have lots of tips and tricks up their sleeves and resources. They would love to send it your way. So always go back to your teacher.
One that's really simple too is if you have sidewalk chalk and you can have your child go out in the driveway or the sidewalk, if you have a sidewalk area, and have them draw the different types of clouds and then label them. Just something simple as that, and use different colored chalk just to get outside to breathe some fresh air. That's just another thing that I've done in the past. I was a science teacher long time ago at some point in time. Many years ago, it seems like now. Let's see. Another, yes, go to drop-in tutoring to get some extra help. And, oh, I see something about marshmallows as well with clouds. Yes, cotton balls are always really helpful when it comes to clouds too. Anyone else you want to raise your hand so we can give you the microphone and you can ask a question? We're almost out of time. We've got about 4 more minutes left to answer your questions today. Yes, and just to clarify the tutoring that is 3rd through 5th grade. Now, we had the presentation at the beginning tonight, and that is Tutor Me, and that's offered for everyone. And that information will be located on our website, and that's for anyone. And that would be outside of your required class sessions. But if you're in grades 3 through 5, 7th period is also a designated tutoring session time for drop-in tutoring. And that's been available this year for our students in 3 through 5. K-2 does not have that. But your teachers are, of course, available to meet with you and assist as well. The Tutor Me program is off. They are offering it a variety of hours. I don't know exactly all of their hours, but I do know that they're offering a wide range to meet the needs of our students. Yeah, it's like 24/7, like Miss Howard put in there. We're very, very fortunate. This is just a great opportunity. It's just such a great opportunity for our students. Love hearing Miss Davis has been great this year. Well, wonderful. We love hearing that. We love Miss Davis and Miss Yingling and Miss Boer. Yes, wonderful. That's great. Yes, it's hard to read everything in the chat, but if you would like to raise your hand and grab the microphone, if you'd like to raise your hand, and then we can make sure you have microphone privileges.
Hi. So I've had a few questions. And my FSL told me to join tonight and that I could probably speak to somebody about it. The kindergarten workload being increased. Not only are they mandatory to do the modules, now they have to do reading logs, Sightward logs, and MobyMax 15 minutes for math and 15 minutes for ELA on top of all that. So it's a lot to do for a kindergartner. So, but the teacher and the teacher said that MobyMax is now mandatory for kindergartners, and that the whole kindergarten section said that they're doing the whole reading logs and Sightward logs now as well. And on top of the modules that are 12 to 20 some pages, I'm just wondering why a kindergartner's workload got increased.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And we do want it's second semester, and we definitely want our kindergartners to be prepared for first grade. And there is a big difference between, our kindergartner and a first grader. And when we go into second semester, we really want to make sure that we have everything. It is just our responsibility to make sure our students are ready. And MobyMax is a program that we're using, that we want our students to spend a certain amount of minutes every week practicing skills, and especially in ELA and math, and especially in kindergarten, first grade, well, in every, early grades, it builds those foundational skills. So spending those minutes really are critical in those foundational skills when you think about kindergarten. And when you think about the sight words, our teachers are doing that because that is really helping build those foundational reading skills. And we want our students to become strong readers. And if they are strong readers, then they're able to write. And sight words they're the key to a student becoming a fluent reader. And so that's the reason for the sight words. And then the reading logs is because we want our students to be readers and strong readers, not just read a sentence or two. We want them to be able to read and read well. So all of the things that you listed will equip your student to be prepared, and not just somewhat prepared or maybe prepared, but they will be ready for the first grade. And so that's the reason for all of those, I guess, requirements, because we want to make sure that our students are not behind in any way. We want them to be totally ready for the first grade. I hope that helped answer that question for you. But it is 7:32, and we appreciate, I know I have so many teachers in here and presenters. Thank you, Ms. Greer and Ms. Moody. You did a wonderful job. And thank you, of course, Ms. Christy Howard. You all did just a great job tonight. And if you have a question, I put my email in the chat box. And if Ms. Howard would do that one more time for me. We appreciate you all so much. And you can email me additional questions, and I will return those definitely by tomorrow. And we appreciate you, all that you do, and we hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Waters. Thank you so much, Mrs. Greer, for a fabulous presentation. Thank you again to all of our staff. And thank you so much, parents and learning coaches, for all you do to support your students learning at home. We appreciate you, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye.